Welcome to Around the Kinky Campfire Podcast. This is your host, the Cuddle Gigolo, aka El Comiden, aka Mango Boogies, but also known officially as HH Julius, your entertainment creative. I'm here with Miss Rue, our education guru, and our goal in this podcast is to destigmatize the taboo topics of kink, non-monogamy, and BDSM. We like to educate through awareness and with our experiences, and we are not certified professionals as of yet. So our non-judgmental topics with a dash of facts are to be taken mostly as entertainment and with, some slice of life anecdotal stories. Your opinions, lifestyles, and or way of thinking may not be in alignment with ours, but your opinion, lifestyle, way of thinking is also okay as well. And the fact that you have an opinion is valid. We're not here to change your minds. We are here just to provide a different point of view. Please join us every second and fourth Thursdays of every month, and our episodes are uploaded to all major platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, etc., etc. Please look forward to this coming episode, as we will start shortly, and make sure to especially pay attention to our ASR Minute, which will start very soon. Gigolo, El Comiden, Taco Knuckle, or just Julius, HH Julius, here for another Pillow Fort session of Around the Kinky Campfire Podcast. We are talking today about a particular topic, as you know, and I'll speed up talking now. As you know, in the Pillow Fort sessions, I am doing solo talking, monologuing by myself, and I like to dive deeper into a particular topic and kind of nerd out a little bit on something specific. Usually, if you guys heard last week, you saw me do a little bit of rant. I'm going to start doing those every now and then, probably like once a quarter or so, just to give you all a break from the deeper topics along with the group episodes, because I like ranting about stuff. Don't like really talking shit so much, but just want to do a little bit of rant going on. So not to put anybody out there and complain about anything and also, talking shit, but that's kind of, I feel like, needed a little bit just to put it out there myself, and also for y'all, the new people, of what's going on and usually what I see, because a lot of people don't go onto all the different things, the Reddits and the TikToks and the Instagrams and YouTube especially, go around and listen to all this content. So I think it's helpful for people to hear all that stuff, just have one source to get all that information. I know for me personally that most people are not on social media all that often. But before I get into the topic of today, as I do a little bit of ranting tangentially already, I have a drink here with me, and it is a school night that I am recording this. And on a school night, I don't really have adult beverages too often, especially when I'm by myself. But right now, I'm drinking a sparkling water beverage. It is the black cherry flavor. Not off-brand generic flavor, but is also delicious. Pretty much the main drink, if it's not this, is Crystal Light. Something mixed with Crystal Light mixed with water. So that's what I'm drinking usually, and the other half of the time, if it's not just in general, it is a sparkling water, because 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 caffeine, 0 sodium per serving. But let us all start our favorite 5 minutes ASMR session, beginning in 3, 2. Oh gosh, it's so cold. I don't think I even lasted 5 seconds there. But that's all for now, because it is carbonated as well.
So it is tough on the throat to do a deep gargle. Hope you enjoyed that 2-second of ASMR as we move into the topic today. If you are on the social medias and the Campfire Kinksters on Instagram, Campfire with a K, thank you for those that like and subscribe. I think it's subscribe on not TikTok, Instagram as well. Hopefully going to start be doing more photos and stuff of all the events that are going to, and you will see that soon, or have seen it by the time this episode comes out. But last week I was at a convention. It is the Smut Lovers 2024 convention here in Central Florida. It happens once a year, sometime in September. I saw a lot. We talked about it last year when we went. I only got a chance to volunteer the one day last year, which was a little bit different than this year because I volunteered for 3 days. Looks like I should have volunteered for 4. Got to make a note of that for next year. But I am still newer to the Smut Lovers. Smut Lovers. This double meaning there. Entendre? Isn't it a double entendre? Smut lovers, smut fans, smut book fans. I'm new to the whole smut world. There's definitely a crossover between the BDSM and queer communities and non-monogamy and all those different things, because if you know anything about fiction, have to have a good story, and a lot of good stories, there's some kind of BDSM kink involved. Especially when it comes to the smut books. There's a whole smut genre. I'm not going to go into a deep dive what smut is, but please do your research. Pretty sure most of you that are listening to this already know what it is. But here in Central Florida, we have our local dungeon, local watering hole that does sponsorship for this. So during this, not only do the readers and authors get to have a community and social event together, but the books that the authors are writing about have some factual sense to it, even though it's fiction. There's still facts. It's based off of something, but now they get a chance to be introduced to it. So the readers that are coming into Smut, they know about the books, but they don't necessarily know about the lifestyle that is based off of lifestyles, parentheses S, the lifestyles that is based off of. So this is their opportunity, this being a convention where they can go in and get the education along with the pre-order books, or just meeting the authors in general that write the books, all kinds of community based around that type of thing. So for me, I find that very interesting to have people that come to conventions, because you know I'm a convention kid. Julius is a convention kid, going full deep dive into my volunteering lifestyle. I want to say it's a volunteering lifestyle now. I'm full into the volunteering thing. I'm going to pick and choose where I volunteer at specifically, but yes, definitely going to volunteer at the BDSM, like Venn diagram, things that cross over with BDSM, especially with this kind of stuff, because there's a whole community of people that want to know more information, get the actual facts, get more experience, all those different type of things, and I am all on board for it. So if I can volunteer, it's usually going to be something like that. And just want to give a shout out to the organizers and my fellow volunteers right off the bat. Everybody was great. We didn't have a whole lot of issues, no outside people trying to come in and make a mess of things. Not going to go into details about the different conventions that go on during this time, but I feel like the hotels here in Central Florida are pretty funny when they schedule stuff, because you got like BSM people and then like highly religious people just like right next to each other, and the looks and all the microaggressions and everything are just comments, really. Sometimes there's noises and words being said, but in general they've been fairly amiable when it comes to it. It's like, okay, that's not your thing. You don't need to be judgy. Nobody cares about your opinion. Let's everybody just go along our separate ways and be totally fine. Barring any jokes, I mean, harmless jokes are totally fine in that case. You know, everybody has some kind of background, okay? Everybody has a background, and a lot of us have a religious background, so we know about all the different things, and we chose to be in this life instead of that one. So there's multiple lifestyles going on in general. Some of them agree with the stuff you're doing, and some of them don't, but that's totally cool. But it's just the irony is hilarious when that happens. But the volunteers and organizers are amazing, especially the organizers that are out there, and they're, authors as well. It's just crazy. Running the thing and then selling stuff. I personally found it to be very impressive because I cannot switch like that. I am horrible. I'm starting to learn why. For those of us on the neurospicy spectrum, task switching is a thing, and especially for me, like selling has never been a thing I've always done. I don't like peddling my stuff around. That's why you guys haven't had a whole lot of social media stuff thrown down your throats, memberships, and all the stuff you're supposed to do when you have a podcast and content creating in general. Oh God, I really hate that part. This part I like. Talk to me on the thing, and I would prefer somebody put it out there for me so I don't have to do it myself, but it's not going to get out there if you don't do it, especially when you're first starting out. And it's like, goodness gracious, the fact that an organizer can also be an author and do the thing and switch tasks like that, because there's no such thing as multitasking. It's task switching. Being able to do that is very impressive to me. I don't know how they feel about it. It's like, oh, okay, just something you got to do, or they're used to it, or whatever. I don't know what everybody's background. I'm just making a huge assumption right now. I know for me, I would not be able to do it. Even talking about like this podcast, so like other people, I appreciate those of you that are listening now, new listeners from that. Appreciate that, because I just don't like doing it. It's like, yes, I have a podcast. It's not really to be known out there. It's because I like talking, and I feel like I have stuff to say that somebody might get something from. But good Lord heavens, people, please do not listen to me. Go out there and do your own research. Have experience with this, and I've done the research myself, but this is my opinion, so I don't really care if I'm right or wrong, but I like talking about it, and I feel like this is the best way to find people, this being the podcast, best way to find people that feel the same way and also do the research and then ask the questions, because we all know asking questions is hard. Nobody wants to ask the dumb question. I have learned to gotten used to it. I actually like asking the dumb questions now at this point, because I've done the skills to build the habits to be okay with it. Okay, in quotes, okay. I don't know what's going on with my screen here. I am videoing as well now to start practicing that, because skills develop habits, and we got to get there. But for some reason, it's very close, like shoulder width apart, basically. As much all I got, but I'm messing with that. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about because you're listening to this. Anyways, great on those people, especially if they're new to usually it's the BDSM stuff. Most of those are smut veterans, smut book veterans. Sure, we'll go with that. SBV. The smut book veterans, they are newer to the BDSM, either learning about the lifestyle in the first place or just actual experience. They've never tried it before themselves. They just read about it in a book. Good on y'all for asking the questions, because I know that is difficult. Those are the people I like talking to very selfishly. This is why I do a podcast, and then also like 50% reason why I do the specific kind of volunteering that I do. There are conventions I just go to and just participate in. I would never volunteer because, like board games, I'm not volunteering. I mean, I could volunteer for board games. I'm there to play board games. That's my kind of thing. That's my enjoyment. But the people that come to the people that come to the Smut Book conventions are great. In general, most of the people are very nice. I have on my notes to remember that the tattoo artist, so if anybody's attended the convention and didn't know all this kind of stuff, like gathering all the information from people is great. That's just one thing I like to do, especially if I'm volunteering, because it's like getting information out is tough. But I did know from another volunteer that the tattoo artists that were there were very happy that everybody was like in general respectful. And my assumption, they said that the SmutCon attendees were very delightful to work with and give tattoos to, because their normal clientele are not as agreeable. I am making an assumption, probably because they're entitled or something, but it's just crazy to me that you're going to have somebody put permanent markings on you and you're going to give them a hard time. I don't understand this. I understand they have the tattoo artists have a business to run, but like, why would you be an asshole to somebody that's marking your skin permanently? Quotes permanently. I mean, you can pay money to get it taken off or something, or white it out, or blacked out now. But I don't understand that. That makes no sense to me. It's just so crazy. But they did make a note of that the tattoo artists were very happy to work with the people. And they were also inviting people that were not convention goers. So people just were curious about it. and had another convention going on, or was about to go on, or just hotel guests in general come up and get tattoos from him. So that was great. I just know for me, I still can. Neurospicy, I can't get a tattoo on me. I couldn't even imagine a temporary tattoo. Shoot, a sticker, a marker drawing on me for very long. That would drive me crazy. So I have tattoos planned. I have no tattoos right now, no piercings right now. But the fact that something permanent is going to be on my body and it's just going to be there forever and ever and ever and ever until the end of time is just so nerve-wracking to me. But other than that, I like the tattoos that they had. I don't even know what it's called. A sample, whatever the special tattoos were for the convention. Those look great, but yeah, that's so nerve-wracking to me. Goodness. Yeah, other than that, I would get a tattoo if it would be gone next week or something. I think aren't they doing temporary ink tattoos now? Oh, that'd be so good. I don't know how I feel about paying for that and sitting for that, but yeah, temporary tattoos from actual tattoo artists sounds, I think I saw that recently, and that all sounds amazing to me. I need to look into that. Yeah, that's a great idea. Goodness gracious. Okay, so specifically with the tattoo artists, they wanted to, say that they wanted to let us know, as us being the volunteer staff, that the convention goers were very much a pleasant crowd to work with. I would like to say we didn't have any issues with convention people. Everybody was great, even if they felt that the information wasn't gotten to them in the proper way. It's like, hey, look there's an app, there's Facebook, there's all different kinds of ways to get information. I know that the Facebook group is for Smut Lovers is great for getting information out. Not a whole lot of conventions have that in general, or they just suck at social media in general. A lot of them do have apps now, and because I'm the convention kid, I've installed and uninstalled a lot of these apps, because if I kept all the apps from all the conventions that I went to, because everybody wants to use a different program, which drives me crazy. The app that was used for Smut Lovers was actually pretty good. Any app that gives you a list of what the panel is, let's just say panel, event, whatever it is, the panel, short description, pictures, and then sends you reminders to your phone for the panels that you have saved that you want to go to. Amazing app. A+, amazing. And also, please don't take a lot of space on my phone. Thank you very much. Don't want to take a long time to have you update all that stuff. But the app that was used was great. It was color-coded with the different days. You could scroll through the list. Luckily, unluckily now, it's not a whole lot going on. There's some conventions, and I'm pretty sure some people can name some where there's at least like 20 different things going on every hour or even half hour. So it's like, oh my good Lord. But luckily, Smut Lovers Convention is not too huge now. Everything was packed in the Thursday and Friday, and then the book signing was Saturday. So luckily, we didn't have a whole lot going on, but it was very concise and very helpful with the descriptions of all the different things that were going on for the weekends. Yeah, I could talk about apps and organization for years and years and years, not particularly to Smut Lovers, but just to conventions in general. It's like, just get an app now. There's still conventions where there's no apps, and it's like, what are you doing, people? Just get an app. Download it. Everybody can be on there and have all the information. I just feel sorry for the people that missed out on some things because they just didn't get the information out there. But in general, if we had to like kick people out because they were coming at, not actually out of the convention, but out of like a room that wasn't ready for presentation, they were pretty amicable about it. So they left in time. That was great. Thank you very much to those people. Then moving on to, let's see. So I talked about finding like-minded people before. I like my lifestyles, and I like people that are open to those different things. And listen, I have different hobbies, and not everybody's open to all the different things. But I know I like my people that do research and ask questions, because assumptions, I'm really trying to get rid of them for myself and in general. It is a big thing in America. I know where people just go along with assumptions. Nobody wants to ask questions. I want to get rid of all that. Hopefully. in the midst of me rambling to myself, let's just get rid of assumptions. Feel free to ask questions, people. Let's just ask a question. It's not that hard. Just ask the question. You might feel dumb for a little bit, but more than likely, nobody actually, well, they might think you're dumb. Nobody's actually going to make you feel like you're dumb. So most people are nice. I'm not one of those nice people. I'm a horrible human being, and I'm very judgy. Still working on that, but yeah, it's very judgy. But I will still answer the question. Still working on that, but I will answer your question. I love newbie questions. We will dedicate a bunch of things to newbies. Most dungeons, BDSM communities have newbie stuff going on, so there's new people all the time. So feel free to ask the questions. There are, just for my sake, there are questions that get asked very often, and they're often the same questions. So please just take a little time to do a little bit of research, because there are new people to any lifestyle, and they ask the same question a lot. So it's like, just do a little bit of research. Google is on your phone. Your phone is right in your pocket. You have a computer in your pocket. Do you all realize the first Apollo missions to the moon? The first Apollo missions to the moon flew in a rocket to the moon. Took many weeks to get there. They made it to the moon, landed on the moon, and came back with 10% of the computing power that is in your pocket right now. So good Lord, people, if you don't know how to open your phone and Google a question on there, I don't understand. I don't understand. It's like willful ignorance. You are voluntarily keeping yourself in the dark about this information. I don't understand. This is my podium to stand on. Just do a quick Google search. It's really right there for you. And a lot of people ask the same question. And this is not really like a newbie to BDSM question. It's just in general. You know, it's really not that hard. If you need to learn how to cook, if you need to learn how to do laundry, these are simple skills that people have been doing for decades. And trust me, there's at least 100 videos on pretty much any topic you can think of. There are content creators like myself that like talking. And we don't necessarily have somewhere to talk to in regular life. But guess what? I have a camera, and I can put it out on the internet, and somebody's going to listen. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I just like talking about it. So please, dear Lord Almighty, just do a quick Google search. Look at a video real quick. Read an article. It's all there. There are writers and talkers, all the same, creating content. But I would like to say specifically, as I get off my podium right now, for now, and go back to talking about Smut Lovers Convention. I really enjoy being around like-minded people. I got to talk to some of the convention people, somewhat, a little bit. There wasn't as many as the volunteer people. I don't know how I feel about that. There's got to be some way to talk to the convention people as well. But volunteer people have found like-minded people doing the research, asking the questions, wanting to get all the experience. Not trying to be super judgy on that. I just prefer myself to talk to people that do the research and go and then do the things. And I find it very impressive for all the authors that go out there and write the books like that. Whole organization thing is trippy for me, being neurospicy. And I also like people, ooh, this is going to be judgy. I like people that go to conventions that actually do stuff, because I don't know. I know people that don't do that, and it's like, why no convention? Why are we not going out and experiencing things? Like, you do stuff, but then you don't go on. I don't know. I like communities, so that's why I go to conventions. That's why I became infatuated with conventions when I finally went to one. And it's like, oh, there's like-minded people here doing the same thing I like to do. This is amazing. Now, that was a geek convention, the first one I went to, and I like, oh, there's panels. People talk about specific subjects. So that inspired me to start the podcast in the first place, because there's people that actually will listen to a panel about a TV show that could be ongoing, could have been done 10 years ago, and people will just want to get together and talk about and ask questions about the TV show. I can do that for non-monogamy and BDSM. I'm right here. There are panels, all the different things. I was volunteering, keeping time for the panels and the conventions in the mornings. I couldn't have been happier. Those things flew by so fast, I could not believe it, because people paneling about BDSM topics and running things, I'm like, oh, I'm in heaven. I love it very much. I might have jizzed in my pants a little bit. Not gonna lie. So yeah, like-minded people is great. And then, the newbies to the kink and asking the questions. Oh, please, I love that so much. Please join the Instagram, Campfire Kinksters. Ask questions, like the videos, and I'll put more stuff out there. The more people that jump in. We need the pennies, people. Literally not trying to become rich off of this. This is literally a platform for me, but the more stuff, the more stuff you guys like, and that just helps. Rate the stuff, like the stuff. Share the stuff, because it's pretty much going to be a nonprofit. It's going to go back into, getting better equipment or renting a space. I'd love to just show up at a space. I just talk and people edit it and put it out there for me. Y'all don't know how much I just do not like doing that. Oh, God. So terrible. Goodness. Yeah, that's just... Boy, but goodness gracious. I just want to talk and people put that out there for me. Anyways, so last night we had the book signing, which was great because all the authors got to talk to the people more specifically. Especially for me, I'm horrible with names. I'll just say that right now. I said much respect to the organizers that also are authors. I didn't know they were authors until the last day. I find that funny. I'll laugh about that myself. Yeah, so it was great just going, oh, you write books too? Oh, there's like 20 of them. Oh my goodness. Did not know that. So that's great. So yeah, I gotta go ahead and just read those books. I kind of want to ask them if I should really do a review on the books, but I'll do it for myself. Not so much just like, it'll be a review of like the topics in there. I don't know anything about writing books, so I'm not going to do a review on like how well it is written, but whatever. And then maybe we'll have some of them on the podcast. Hey, I'm talking to you. You know who you are. So hopefully that'll be something in the future. But after the book signing, which went pretty smoothly, everybody got in mostly on time and then got out when they were supposed to, because we had to quickly convert the room to the after party and performances. The performers were great. Everybody dancing and doing stuff in the air were great. And then the local watering hole had performances. I love that everybody was there for it, and very here's some emotional bits there. Everybody was great. So I got some pointers from that myself if I ever wanted to do a performance. It's just so good to see that kind of stuff on stage in more public places. Like, it still can be good. Like, BDSM is tied to sex and stuff. And like, okay, we've done podcast episodes. You can have non-sexual BDSM. But it's great when you can put performances out there in a public space and people respect it and cheer and applaud it all. It like makes me happy that I've done the work of practicing, honing in my BDSM skills, and knowing that it's not just like... How should I say this? Because it's in the bedroom for me for the most part, but it's good that the fact that you can do this stuff in public too, and people hopefully learn something from it and realize you can do it safely. And okay, I got a cough. But it's mostly for people that don't really get to go to a dungeon and see that kind of stuff. Which they can, and they did, but seeing it on stage as well, it's like, oh, it's not just this, it's also emotional and performance. You can tell a story with all the stuff that you're doing, so it's not just debauchery. I don't know what people like to assume that it is out there in the general media, which is like whatever. There's an opinion on that as well here from old Julius. But lastly, as I finish up here, I'm running out of time. If y'all don't know, I try to keep these pillow fort sessions to about 30 minutes, just so y'all don't have to listen to me ranting and raving to myself and talking to myself for too long. I will say, just so everybody knows, that I did apply finally to be a sensitivity reader, which I don't know all that entails, but the Smut Lovers website has a sensitivity reader registration, and there were a lot of check boxes. And I was like, ooh, my goodness, there are a lot of check boxes in here. And there's a lot of stuff I don't personally have experience with, but I do know about. So BSMA, maybe hopefully I will be a sensitivity reader and I'll talk about that. Not specifically, but I'll talk about my own experience of how that goes. But I'm very excited about that. Being a sensitivity reader, going in there and be like, but this would the different things. Because, POC, religious background, military brat, newly to queer, long time BSM now, going over 10 years in the community, specifically in the community that's different than just in the bedroom. I would like to point that out. Non-monogamy for almost half a decade now, so I got experiences in all the different things. Y'all heard me talk about this. Why am I telling this to y'all? Y'all been here for a little bit, because we know podcast people, they listen to all the podcasts. Y'all know how I am. Speaking of like-minded people, we completionists, we got to listen to all the things, and I thank you for that, because I see that on the downloads. Thank you very much. Suffice it to say, ads, are a thing that happens. So if it happens eventually, I do apologize, but that is kind of a goal to eventually start doing ads and stuff. And I, for one, would enjoy doing ad reads. I know that for a fact. But I know it is annoying being a podcast listener myself, having to pause whatever it is for ads. But once again, we need the schmeckles. So we get the oysters, the clams, the bellies, and we will get better stuff. And, video is a thing. So I'm practicing now for those futures. Maybe I'll put this video out eventually on something. We'll see. But for now, as I finish up here, I think I'm around 30 minutes or so-ish. I have some edits to do at some point, so I got to cut those parts out. But this is the Pillow Fort sessions of Around the Kinky Campfire. We put out episodes pretty much every Thursday with an asterisk, as much as possible. I've been doing the solo things myself to get my practice skills up. If you can do it by yourself, of course you can do it with a group. Did the group thing for about a year. Hopefully go back to the group thing sometime soon, and getting guests eventually. You know who you are, and we'll see how that goes. That's kind of all up in the air, but you will hear from me at some point. You can guarantee that. Hopefully every Thursday. Go to Instagram and join on there. Campfire Kinksters, Campfire with a K, Around the Kinky Campfire with a K. All the... And Rue does not like when I say that, but all the Ks, that's a funny joke, whatever. POC, I can make those kind of jokes. Sure, whatever. But for now, this is El Comiden, Cuddle Gigolo, Taco Knuckle, or HH Julius, or just Julius. That's all for now. Hello.